Every one of these tricks is something the grocery store would rather you never figured out. They're not illegal, nobody's going to stop you at the door, but they cut right against how these stores are designed to separate you from your money, which is exactly why you'll never see them on a sign or hear them from a cashier. I'm 69 years old. I didn't learn these from some article. I learned them at my grandmother's elbow, watched her work, every last one of them, and I've been doing them myself ever since. She could stretch a dollar further than anyone I ever knew, back when a dollar still meant something, and I've kept right on stretching mine the same way. So here are 25 of them, hers then mine. And I promise you they work better today than they ever did, the way prices have gone. Number 1, ignore the big colorful price tag and read the tiny number underneath. This is the granddaddy of them all, the one every other trick is built on. That big, bright, cheerful price on the shelf is designed to grab you. The number that actually matters is the little one in the corner, the price per ounce, per pound, per unit. That's the only number that tells the truth because it lets you compare two different size packages honestly. Learn to read that little number and the store can never fool you again with a big package that costs more per ounce than the small one sitting right beside it. It takes 10 seconds. 10 seconds of squinting at the small print, dozens of times a year, and it quietly saves you more than any coupon ever printed. My grandmother did it on every single item without even thinking, the way you check a mirror before changing lanes, and I do the exact same to this day. Once it's automatic, you've won. Number 2, stick to cash and feel every dollar. This was maybe her firmest rule of all. She shopped with cash, a set amount for the week, and when it was gone, it was gone. There's something about handing over real bills that makes you feel the cost in a way tapping a card never will. The studies show people spend more when it doesn't feel like real money leaving their hand. Whether it's cash in an envelope or just a hard number you refuse to cross, giving yourself a real limit that you can feel is how you keep the whole trip honest. The card makes it painless to overspend. She never wanted it painless. She wanted it deliberate. Number 3, learn when the meat gets marked down. This is the single biggest money saver in the whole store, and it runs on a schedule most people never learn. The meat department manager goes through and slaps those bright markdown stickers on cuts near their sell-by date, and they do it at predictable times, usually very early in the morning or late on a Sunday evening. That meat is perfectly good. It just needs to sell today. Learn your store's rhythm. Shop that window, and you'll catch chicken, beef, and chops at half off week after week while everybody else pays full sticker price. Number 4, save the bacon grease and the drippings in a jar. This was sacred in her kitchen. There was a tin or a jar right by the stove, and every bit of bacon grease and meat drippings got strained into it and kept. Then all week she cooked with it, frying eggs and potatoes, seasoning the beans and greens, even baking with it in place of butter or oil. Strained fat keeps in the refrigerator for months, so it's free cooking fat you'd otherwise have poured down the drain, and it flavors everything better than store oil ever could. My grandmother would have been horrified to watch people throw that away. Number 5, buy the store brand because it's often the exact same food. My grandmother never paid for a fancy label in her life, and the studies back her up completely. Buying the store brand version instead of the name brand can save you up to 75%, and a big share of those store brands are made in the very same factories as the premium labels. Same product, plainer bag, a third or less of the price. On the plain staples especially, the flour, the sugar, the canned goods, the spices, There is no difference worth paying double for. Switch the things you buy over and over, and you'll knife hundreds off your yearly bill without eating one bit worse. And here's the part the name brands don't want you dwelling on. A good chunk of what you pay extra for is the advertising, the commercials that talked you into the name in the first place. You're not buying better food. You're helping pay for the ad that convinced you. My grandmother refused to fund somebody else's television commercial with her grocery money, and she was right too. Number 6, stretch your milk with powdered milk. Here's a genuine old one people have forgotten. In the Depression, when dairy was dear, my grandmother stretched fresh milk by mixing it half and half with powdered milk made up with water, mixed in equal parts, and chilled overnight. Most folks can't tell the difference, and you've made one jug do the work of 2. Powdered milk keeps for ages in the pantry, so it's also there when you run out and don't want to make a trip. And nothing got wasted. Sour milk went straight into pancakes, biscuits, and cornbread because slightly turned milk bakes up beautifully. Number 7, never trust a sale tag without checking. Here's a dirty little secret. That bright red sale tag might not mean what you think. Some stores quietly raise the regular price first, then slap a discount on it so the markdown looks bigger than it really is. Others use vague words like everyday low price, with no original price shown at all, so you can't even tell if it's a deal. So before you believe a sale, check the unit price, and if you can, what a competitor charges. A sale is only a sale if the number's actually lower than it was. Number 8, freeze the markdown the day you buy it. If you find meat marked down by 50%, don't leave it sitting in the fridge until it goes bad. Bring it home, divide it into meal-sized portions, and freeze it the same day. That way, you can enjoy today's bargain weeks or even months later. My grandmother treated her freezer like a savings account. She almost never paid full price for meat because she bought it cheap and froze it fast. Number 9, look up and look down, never straight ahead. Here's one store spend real money making sure you don't do. They put the most expensive, high-profit name brands right at your eye level because they know your hand reaches for whatever's easiest to see. The cheaper store brands and the better deals are hidden up on the top shelf and down by your ankles. So bend your knees, tilt your head up, and look where they don't want you looking. The savings are deliberately parked out of your natural line of sight. Number 10, stretch the meat with beans, oats, and cheaper cuts. This is the heart of Depression cooking, and it still cuts a meat bill in half. My grandmother stretched a pound of ground beef into 2 meals by mixing in cooked beans, oats, or breadcrumbs into the meatloaf, the tacos, the chili, half the meat, same full pot, and honestly, it tasted richer for it. She also bought the cheaper, tougher cuts, the bone-in chicken, the brisket, the chuck, and cooked them low and slow until they fell apart tender, because a cheap cut with patience beats an expensive cut every time at a fraction of the price per serving. Number 11, ask for a rain check when the deal's sold out. This one's nearly forgotten, and it's pure gold. When something's on a genuine sale, but the shelf is empty, don't just shrug and buy the full price version. Go to the desk and ask for a rain check. Most stores will honor the sale price for you later once they restock. My grandmother was never shy about it. She'd get her rain check, come back the next week, and pay the sale price on a fully stocked shelf. The deal isn't gone just because the shelf is bare. You have to ask, and there's no shame in asking. That rain check is a real thing the store offers, not a favor you're begging for. The only people who miss out are the ones too timid or too rushed to walk up to the desk and say the words. Number 12, boil the bones for broth and save every vegetable scrap. Nothing with flavor left in it ever got thrown out. The bones from a roast or a chicken went straight into a pot of water and got boiled down for broth, sometimes twice, to pull out every last bit, and that broth became the base of the week's soups and stews for free. Right alongside it, she kept a bag in the freezer for vegetable scraps, the onion skins, the celery ends, the carrot peels, and when it filled up, all of it went in the stock pot. A rich pot of soup out of what most people scrape into the trash. That's the whole Depression kitchen in one habit. Number 13, do the bulk math, because bigger isn't always cheaper. This one breaks a rule everybody believes. Buying in bulk feels smart, but stores sometimes price the giant package higher per unit than the smaller one, banking on you, assuming bigger means cheaper, and never doing the math. It's especially common with snacks, cereal, and household goods, so check the unit price on the big one against the small one every time. And even when the bulk price genuinely is lower, it's only a deal if you actually use it all before it spoils. A giant bag of spinach that rots at the halfway mark cost you more, not less. Number 14, split the bulk buy with somebody. Here's how my grandmother got the true bulk savings without the waste. When the big package really was cheaper per unit but too much for one household, she split it with a neighbor or a sister, and they divided the cost. 2 families, 1 giant bag, everybody pays the low unit price, nobody throws half of it away. A warehouse membership works the same way. Split it, split the big buys. Have the waste. Number 15. Beware the end cap. It's a stage, not a sale. Those displays at the end of every aisle are built to stop you in your tracks and make you feel like you found a deal. But an end cap display is not automatically a discount. Stores put full price, high profit items there precisely because the placement makes them feel special. So when something on an end cap catches your eye, don't assume. Walk it back to the regular aisle and compare the unit price to what's on the normal shelf. Half the time, the deal is no cheaper at all. Number 16, never throw out stale bread or old coffee. Stale bread was never garbage in her house. It became French toast or bread pudding or got dried in a low oven and crushed into breadcrumbs she kept in a jar, so she never once bought a canister of breadcrumbs in her life. Even the wilted soft vegetables went into the soup pot rather than the bin, and overripe fruit got cooked down into sauce or preserves, and the coffee, the truly frugal, brewed the grounds a second time for a weaker morning pot. You don't have to go that far, but the principle is the whole point. Almost nothing is actually finished the first time you're done with it. Number 17, ask for a price adjustment if it drops after you buy. Here's one nobody thinks to use. If you buy something and it goes on sale within a few days, a lot of stores will refund you the difference if you bring your receipt back inside their window. Nobody hands this to you. You have to know to ask. So glance at the flyer the week after a bigger purchase, and if the price dropped, march that receipt right back to the desk and claim what's yours. It's your money. They're just hoping you won't bother. Number 18, shop the last 10 minutes before closing. This is a trick straight out of the Depression, and it still works. Folks back then would park outside the grocery and hurry in about 10 minutes before closing time on a Saturday night to snap up the fresh produce and bakery marked down for quick sale before the store shut its doors. The bread, the produce, the deli items they can't hold over get slashed at the end of the day. My grandmother timed her trips for exactly that window when she could and walked out with the same food everyone else paid full price for that morning for a fraction of it. Number 19, shop the edges. Be suspicious of the middle. There's an old wisdom to how a store's laid out. The fresh, basic foods, produce, meat, dairy, live around the outer walls. The expensive, heavily processed, high-profit stuff fills the middle aisles. My grandmother did most of her shopping around the perimeter and only dipped into the middle for the specific staples on her list. It's not a hard rule, but it's a good instinct. The more more time you spend wandering the center aisles, the more the store's designed to sell you things you didn't need. Number 20, pay attention to the register and watch it ring. Here's when people are too polite or too rushed to do. My grandmother watched that register like a hawk as her items rang up, because the shelf price and the register price don't always match. A sale that didn't get entered, a tag that says one thing and scans another. It happens more than stores like to admit. Keep your eyes on the screen, and if something rings up higher than the shelf said, speak up right there. Many stores will even give you the item free or discounted if their scan was wrong, but only if you catch it. Number 21. Shop the discount grocers for your staples. My grandmother would have walked past a fancy supermarket to get to the cheap one, and today that means the discount chains. At the deep discount grocers, everyday prices on staples, milk, eggs, bread, chicken, produce, run 20 to 40% below the traditional supermarket. The catch is you won't find many name brands. Almost everything is the store's own label, and that's exactly what makes it cheap. Do most of your shopping there and save your regular supermarket for the one or two brands your family truly won't give up. Number 22. Make a list and marry it. The list isn't a suggestion, it's a shield. Every item that goes in the cart that wasn't on the list is the store winning. My grandmother wrote her list at the kitchen table around what she already had in the pantry and what was on sale that week, and she did not stray from it. The whole store is engineered to make you wander and grab. A firm list is how you walk in, get exactly what you came for, and walk out before the traps can spring. Number 23. Plan the week's meals around what's on sale. This is the trick that ties the whole thing together. Instead of deciding what you want to eat and then paying whatever it costs, my grandmother flipped it. She saw what was on sale that week and built her meals around it. Chicken's cheap this week? It's a chicken week. This is how the sales actually save you money instead of just tempting you, because you're buying the bargains and eating the bargains, not buying a bargain and letting it sit while you cook something expensive. Number 24. Never ever shop hungry. My grandmother had an iron rule: eat before you go, and the studies prove her right over and over. Shopping while hungry dramatically increases impulse buys, especially of the expensive, high-calorie snack foods that blow a careful budget to pieces. A hungry stomach overrides a sensible head every time. Eat a proper meal first, and half the junk never makes it into the cart because you're shopping with your brain instead of your belly. She used to say, never let your stomach hold the wallet, and I've never forgotten it. Go on a full stomach and the cart fills with what you planned, not what you craved. Number 25. Check your receipt before you leave the parking lot, and if you didn't catch it at the register, catch it in the car. My grandmother looked over her receipt before she pulled away every time, matching it against what she knew she'd paid attention to. An overcharge you find is an overcharge you can walk right back inside and get refunded, one you never look for. You simply paid. 2 minutes with the receipt in the parking lot has caught me more overcharges over the years than I could count, and everyone was money handed back. So there they are. 25 tricks the store would rather you forgot. Every one of them still working, most of them working better than ever. And here's the thread that runs through all of them, the thing my grandmother understood in her bones. The grocery store is not on your side. It isn't evil, but it is designed, down to the shelf height and the end cap and the big red tag, to get you to spend more than you meant to. Every one of these tricks is just a way of refusing, of walking in with your eyes open, your list in hand, your math ready, and your good sense switched on. That's the whole secret. She wasn't cheap. She was awake. None of this is deprivation either. She ate well, she fed a family well on almost nothing, and set a table that made people feel welcome. She just refused to be foolish with a single dollar. And she passed that down like an inheritance, because that's exactly what it was. Do one thing this week. Pick just 3 of these you don't already do and try them on your next trip. Read the unit price. Watch the register. Shop the markdown hour. Just 3. Because knowing these tricks and using them are 2 different things, and the money only comes when you actually do it. Tell me down in the comments which trick your own grandmother swore by, the one that got handed down to you. Because between all of us, there's a whole lifetime of this wisdom, and I'd hate to see any of it forgotten.